Inside a decaying laurel snag, high in a Central American cloud forest, two pale blue eggs rest directly on a floor of softened wood. The cavity has no lining and no second exit. Both resplendent Quetzal parents share incubation, exchanging places through cool fog, hard rain, and brief openings of sunlight. The long-tailed male folds his upper tail coverts over his back before entering, while the female settles low over the same fixed two-egg clutch. The nest cannot be carried away from danger. A variegated squirrel climbs the lower trunk and tests the broken bark beneath the entrance. One adult blocks the opening until the predator retreats. After roughly 18 days, movement begins inside E1. A tremor becomes rocking, then a star crack and a small pip. E2 follows later. Until a chick fully leaves its shell, each remains part of one hatching egg unit. E1 becomes C1. E2 becomes C2. No third egg appears, and no chick is duplicated. The hatchlings are naked, helpless, and dependent on both parents. Their early meals are rich in insects and small vertebrate prey. Rain beats against the entrance while one parent broods and the other searches mossy branches and wet trunks. When the squirrel returns, the adults drive it downward without leaving the two chicks unguarded for long. Inside the cavity, dark pin feathers emerge, legs strengthen, and the young begin moving toward the light. The cloud forest beyond the entrance is also a classroom. From the rim, C1 and C2 watch an adult hover beside a fruiting twig and pluck a wild avocado without landing. They exercise their wings inside the cavity while wind begins to move the rotted snag. The wood that protected them is slowly becoming the greatest danger. A storm opens a gap between the dead trunk and a living laurel branch across the ravine. By the fledgling stage, both young birds stand at the cavity threshold. One parent demonstrates a short flight, but rain intensifies, the trunk develops a deep fissure, and the recurring squirrel climbs again. A hawk silhouette passes high above the mist. The fledglings cannot remain exposed on the outer stub, yet the safest branch lies across moving air. C1 launches first and reaches a low mossy branch. C2 follows. The temporary perch bends under the storm. Then the cavity section tilts toward the ravine, forcing the next decision. C1 crosses the wider gap in its first sustained flight and reaches the waiting parent. C2 follows moments later. Behind them, the empty cavity tears from the trunk and disappears into fog. Exactly two fledglings reunite with exactly two parents. Leaving the nest does not create instant independence. C1 misses a hovering fruit pluck, catches an insect, fails to take a frog, and follows an adult toward a fruiting laurel. Repetition turns failure into control. The juvenile secures a small wild avocado and later regurgitates its pit onto another branch, beginning the seed dispersal role that makes Quetzals important cloud forest gardeners. An encounter with one rival teaches restraint, while fog gaps and sudden gusts improve flight judgment. Seasonal change reveals C1 as a mature male with iridescent green plumage, a red breast, and long upper tail coverts streaming behind. He now hover-plucks fruit, captures small animal prey, and detects the old squirrel before it can approach. A passing hawk shadow is answered with concealment rather than panic. At the edge of a mature wild avocado territory, the adult inspects soft rotted wood and removes one chip from a future cavity. From two eggs in a failing snag, through predation, storm, first flight, and independent feeding, the tracked Resplendent Quetzal has reached adulthood as a self-sufficient survivor.